Good morning, everybody. My name is Yasmin Gomes, and I would like to ask you something. We all have been children, and I'm sure you remember good things that happened during that time, right? The time you didn't need to worry about your work, lots and lots of responsibilities, money, and this life stage is really important. It's essential for kids to be kids, to make good memories, play with their friends, bruise their knees, explore the world. But what if this fascinating world became full of confusion? Well, some of us can't even imagine it, but it's the reality of a lot of children until today. It's difficult to think that nowadays children are still forced to marry, and they're usually forced to marry older people they don't even know. Those events can destroy childhoods and build traumatized adults. Those traditional forced marriages are constant violations of the children's rights. Promise young girls to marry with or without their consent disrespects a lot of laws and violate human rights, exposing those children to domestic and sexual violence, abuse, exploitation, and maybe even early death. As girls, as children, as human beings, they shouldn't be abused like this. Not by their husbands or anybody. Abuse is not just about sexual abuse, but emotional and psychological too. According to the first article of the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights, we are all born free and equal, which means that we should be able to choose if we want to marry and who we want to marry. And early marriage has devastating effects in these young girls' lives. The educational opportunities are restricted and the risk of developing health problems increase. Those girls need to abandon the school, work at home, and get pregnant, even though their bodies aren't ready. According to UNICEF, until 2017, 7.5 million girls got married before their 18th, some of them just a little after completing 10 years old. According to Save the Children organization, child mortality, early marriage, and pregnancy are directly connected. Also, in 2017, a research made by ONU indicate that Brazil is the fourth country with the highest number of child marriage, just after India, Bangladesh, and Niger. With child marriage, a girl's childhood abruptly ends. Her health and her future are in jeopardy. Her right to live a life free from abuse is violated. One common reason why arranged marriages are done is for religion traditions. And some people might defend it, saying that expressing their beliefs is also a human right. And in a lot of regions of the world, arranged marriage is also seen as an opportunity of facing troubles like hunger and poverty. This lack of opportunities is the main reason why some people sell their children and promise them to some rich man. But these traditions, such as sacrifice and others, must be banned. It's a violation of human rights in more than one aspect. As we saw, it's not really simple to end the child marriage. Poverty, hunger, patriarchy, and other words problems contribute to these events. But our daily attitudes in our country, state, or city can avoid situations like that. The most important thing to do now is strengthening agents and resources for girls, protecting and showing them they have the right to choose. Existing research identifies the transformative power of economic interventions in reducing childhood marriage practices. Families must be able to feed, clothe, house, and protect their children in order for them not to be a perceived advantage in marrying their daughters out of the family at early ages. As we could realize, this horrible scenario repeats with children all over the world, making their lives become a mess. stealing many young girls' hopes for a better future. In the beginning, I said that we should remember good experience of our childhood. But what if this special phase of her life suddenly become a nightmare? Exploitation, violence, and abuse are consequences of child marriage that hunts millions and millions of children. We can't let this violation continue to happen. This stop matters because imagine if your daughter, your sister, or yourself were forced into marrying someone you have never seen before. Imagine if you no longer could study because your husband denies it from you. This happens everywhere, every day. Well, thank you so much for your time and attention to this important topic.